Hello and welcome, Deep Ghosh.
Hi Leonie, great to be here.
Good to have you. You are one of the curators here of Flow Music, a view from the decks. And congratulations for this beautiful gathering, and I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think so as well. Thanks to you guys as well for putting it all together. I think we could not have picked a better location to be here today, and happy to be here. Let's have some fun today.
Deep, tell us a little bit more about you. When did you find your love for electronic music, and when did you start?
Well, my history with electronic music, I guess, goes back to my childhood. I grew up listening to all kinds of new age music. Enigma was like really one of my was definitely one of my formative bands to listen to growing up. Didn't really know what the music meant back in the day, but there was a lot of moaning and screaming, and I think the electronic part definitely stuck with me. I was a great fan of movie soundtracks, so that was kind of the background. But more recently, as far as electronic music and techno and DJing goes, I guess it was somewhere in my multitude of visits to Berlin.
Which summer was it?
2010, 2011, something like that.
Do you remember your first ever party here in Berlin?
Oh.
Or club?
My first club experience in Berlin, yes, that was one of those daytime open air events. I think somewhere down in Rubensburg. It was a great day on the beach, and more so about DJing. It was actually just I had friends who started getting interested in it, and they would just keep sending me music, and in the beginning I was more like, well, this is not really my jam. I'm more of a rock person. I mean, I grew up listening to rock.
Your roots are the rocks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm a child of rock. Bands like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Rage Against the Machine. I mean, these were the bands that kind of shaped my musical landscape growing up as a kid, and just getting bombarded with music and being in Germany, being in Berlin a lot. At some point it kind of snuck through, and it was actually a track by Dirty During, which really just got under my skin, and I was obsessed with the song for months. And
which one was it?
Été Pluvieux. It was one of his. It was just a track before before Katermukke even started, I think, and I was obsessed with that track, and so I kind of defined that as my little origin as to when the techno seed or the deep house seed was planted, and it's been an adventure since then.
Yeah. Do you think Berlin is the metropole of electronic music?
There's many meccas of electronic music, of house techno, places like Chicago and Miami and places like that. But in Europe, Berlin is definitely the capital. And I think, for the music that I really appreciate, I definitely see Berlin as the undisputed capital.
What is it about Berlin?
I don't know. It's hard to put your finger on it, but I think the place is just it just allows for so many different subcultures and niches to exist, and it's a place where everybody can just come and be themselves, and I think that's kind of an inherent part of the club scene, of the party scene, where it's about go and be yourself and express yourself, and Berlin just is a great place that allows that to happen.
At the moment, the situation is a bit different than the years before, as the whole club culture and music scene got really quiet. Do you think that it will come back next year or at some point, or do you think the whole club culture will develop into something completely new?
Well, I think at the end of the day, you can never stop the music, so I think that will always prevail. Whether the scene comes back in the way that we know it as, might not be exactly how it was, but maybe that's not a bad thing either. I think this is a, kind of an unplanned, but I think a very important kind of pause and reset time that we're in right now. And I think everybody can just kind of, take a step back and just, kind of reconsider how to do things differently a little bit.
True.
So, and then that's kind of what we're, trying to do now with Flow Music as well. So. So for us, actually, yeah, I mean, the timing of all this, in a way, yeah, couldn't be more perfect. A time for other people to come into the picture, and yeah, and to if they have something to say, to be able to to express it, and yeah, get something started for when we do hopefully soon come back and are able to dance again.
You said Flow Music. How did you find your way to Flow Music? When did you teamed up with them?
Well, yeah, this goes back to to festival season last year, actually, where a dear friend of mine from Melbourne, kind of a DJing partner in crime, Yelena, yeah, told me about her plans to come to Europe last summer. She didn't mention that she was going to come over with a whole crew of people, and these happened to be the Flow family. So yeah, so that's how I met Core and Toby and the rest of them, and yes, had 2 magical weeks with them last summer, going from the Monastery Festival to Garbage together. Like, yeah, we all traveled together, camped together.
We can see it here.
Yeah, exactly. This is
around
exactly, yeah, and most of these are from last summer. So yeah, it was a long year last year, a long campaign, and but yeah, met with the Flow people. We connected almost immediately, and I knew that they had some pretty big plans up their sleeves, and I was quite curious to see where it would go. Yeah, and then kind of fast forward to spring this year, and when Cord got in touch and was like, hey, so we're starting this music channel, starting a SoundCloud page. Do you have some friends who would be interested in doing this too? I thought, yeah, sure, I know a few people. And yeah, and the rest in a way is history. Yeah.
If you could change anything about the music industry with the project Flow Music, what would it be?
One of the key drivers and one of the things that drew me to the project was that we want to shift the focus of the industry a little bit and make it really about the people who create the industry, who create the scene, the artists, the producers, the musicians. Yeah, we want to shift that focus back on them, to help them, to support them. And yeah, and bring these people together again in a kind of collaborative environment, and that spoke to me pretty well. So I thought, yeah, I could flow with this, and yeah, exactly. So it's like kind of capturing that flow of life, but applying it in a creative context, and yeah, and seeing what comes out of it. So
what makes you flow?
What makes me flow? Music definitely makes me flow. Connection, plays a role. How music can be really such a powerful tool to connect with other people, people who you never spoken to or never met ever before. But you're playing a tune and you just you exchange glances or you lock eyes and you just know without ever speaking a word. Yeah, so I guess the chase for that in a way, just kind of lets things flow.
Do you have a ritual? Is there anything you do what nobody knows?
No, I do have certain rituals. I'm very OCD with a lot of things. So yeah, I like to have things arranged in a certain place in order for me to calm down and just keep going. But in terms of other little rituals, I'm definitely partial to incense and just exotic smells, and I'm very odor oriented that way. So yeah, I often have like incense sticks or a Palo Santo always in the vicinity. So often my friends they will find me in a crowd because they smell Palo Santo
so
somewhere.
Nice.
It's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, must be you, right? And yeah.
So you could say you're a bit of a spiritual person, right?
I mean, for me, spirituality is a very personal thing. I guess what it comes down to is how open you feel yourself connected to what is out there that is beyond just our physical existence, our physical realities, and okay, given that I'm a man of science, my first answer would be to say probably not, because what you see is what you get. But at the same time, in the last few years, I've definitely felt like that I personally have been opening up more to what else is out there, and I find myself questioning a few things here and there, and so in the end, I would say I'm open to whatever else is out there.
Do you have a dream festival?
Well, I went to one of my dream festivals last summer, which was Garbage. I think the first time I walked into the area where the dickish floor is, like this magical little tree house surrounded by little cabin and the little the walkways, and thought, okay, yeah, like this would be an amazing place to to play some music one day. And another one is actually a very small boutique festival in, I think, Austria or Hungary. It's called Journey to Tarab. Core told me about this one, and basically I was sold when he told me they have a stage which is built at the base of a rocket launch pad. And for me, this has a special connection with my day job, with my other existence outside music, so I can imagine actually nothing more amazing than to play, at the base of a rocket launch pad.
Yeah, you said something. Your other life, like your second life as a rocket scientist, right? How do you manage it to just bring these two things together?
Yeah, when people ask me what I do, I tell them that I have a 9 to 5 and I have a 5 to 9. So my 9 to 5 is as a space engineer, as a rocket scientist. I build satellites for a living, and then I have a 5 to 9, which happens to be everything else, creative and music and otherwise. Yeah, so when you add those two together, 9 to 5 and 5 to 9, that doesn't leave a lot of room for sleep. So.
But you also said you don't really need so much sleep, right?
Well, I thought that until very recently, like when things slowed down and when I slowed down, and I don't know, maybe it's me getting older. That balance is still elusive, I would say. Ask me again in a couple of years, maybe I'll have a better answer for you. But at the moment, it's a lot of fun juggling, and switching hemispheres of my brain. It's working so far. And let's see how it goes.
So what's coming up? What's happening next with you, with your music, also with Flow Music?
You've probably seen our by now a stellar lineup of artists that we've already had, and so we definitely plan to continue that trend. We definitely have a few more things up our sleeves. The guys in Australia have been quite busy in the background, building up a studio to help artists, and also for our purposes to start a label soon. For me personally, I'll be moving west in a very near future to Amsterdam. My 9 to 5 in this case driving this decision, but I definitely have plans for music and for Flow as well. Let's see what comes around. I think there might be a few Flow events coming up in Amsterdam as well.
Yeah, that would be nice. One last very deep question. Why Deep Ghosh?
My parents are from India, and my name Deep is Sanskrit. It means light, it works out in in the context of music as well. So I mean, maybe in a way I was predisposed for deeper things, especially as far as house music and electronic music goes.
Exactly. It's there. It's already there. Thank you very much, and I'm very much looking forward to listen to your set later.
Thank you.